Hi all my friends. I want to do a little update video on my last one that I talked about my food storage. So again, I'm going to remind everybody, I'm going to show you this quick clip of my food storage. Remember, my pantry. Can you imagine, whether you're boondocking or not, or just, even if you're just staying around town to town, that's the only storage you have other than maybe one small cabinet up above the sink? Can you imagine everything that you would eat? That you could store everything in that one pantry, including storage bags, paper plates or bowls, cups. Oh my gosh. So all that stuff is above my cab area, where my seats are at. So that's where I put all my plates and paper cups or bowls or things like that is up above that area. I'll show you that later on. So yeah, that's why I have to do what I do with these tubs and stuff. But anyway, so let's take a peek at that storage pantry area one more time. So here's the clip. Okay, so with that in mind, again, you can see why I have to have additional storage bins or things like that to put my food in. So if you think about the one that I showed you that I'm sliding, back and forth kind of by my bed area, that smaller tub, that really is my main storage area because I have just that, really one shelf to put my canned goods, and then if you look at your extra things like that, or even, pastas or spaghetti sauces or, anything like that. I mean, I don't have room to store any of that stuff. So that's why I have to have an additional area, whether I was boondocking or not, or traveling or just being in campgrounds. That one additional area would be necessary. Okay. So the next thing to keep in mind, why I have the third tub and why I have the additional food is, remember, I have a small space again, and now when you get into the boondocking aspect, some people were thinking that, well, gosh, there's a Walmart every 10 miles. Well, that's not necessarily true. Not in a lot of places that I've been to. In the back country of Utah, in Arizona, and even in Oregon, you could end up being 75 miles to over 150 miles between sometimes a Walmart. Now maybe you might be 15 miles in one little stretch of an area, which let me see, so probably the closest between two Walmarts out in the country, in the eastern, maybe kind of Cascade, kind of as you go into the eastern Oregon area, would be maybe from Redmond to Bend. Those are probably the closest Walmarts. Once you get out the outskirts away from there, there is not another Walmart anywhere until you get to like La Grande. There's none in Baker City, which I was really shocked. There is no Walmart in Burns. So it's really spread out sometimes before you can even find another Walmart. So that is one of the reasons why I stock up like I do. Because for one, I'm boondocking. When I boondock, I can sit for 2 weeks, and then I may only jot maybe 50 miles, 25, 50. And there still might not be another Walmart. I could even go another 100 miles and still not have another Walmart for another 50 miles. So it really just depends on where you're going. So that's why I will stock up like I do. Usually I'm at a Walmart within about a month and a half, between a month and a half, but I can go a month stretch before seeing the next Walmart. Because if you think about it, when I travel and boondock, I will sit for a place for 2 weeks. Because remember, I'm retired and my body has issues. So I really love to just relax and kick back and just enjoy myself at a place for 2 weeks before I even move, and then that next jaunt can really vary. But so it can be about a month and a half before I see the next Walmart. And sometimes you're only seeing the small little country town stores, which they don't have a lot of stuff. They're very limited. And then one more factor is that I do a specialty diet. So I do gluten-free. There's just specialty items that I need to have on hand, and you cannot find those all places that you travel around. So that's one thing to consider. And then that's why, another reason why I like to stock up at a Costco, because even when you think about a Costco, or some places have Sam's, we don't have Sam's here in Oregon, but we do have Costco's, but they're far and small between areas as well that you can end up finding a Costco. So I like to stock up on a lot of that kind of stuff because, you know, I can save money, and also by shopping at Walmart. So that's a factor too. The more I can save money between, you know, one big town to the next major big town, I'm going to try to do that. The other really cool thing though that people mentioned was these towel coins. Now, through my research and what I looked at, it's expensive. It could be around $4 for 50, or like maybe $500 for $38, and that is not going to work in the type of cleanup that I do and the stretch of boondocking that I end up doing. So I can get, and I'm sorry I made a mistake, I get like 6 rolls at a time at Walmart, the split to sheet. So I get 6 rolls. You get over 1,000 sheets, because I do the little tiny sheets. You know, you split the ones into tiny little sheets, the little halves, and then you get over 1,000 for $8. So for me, it's still more affordable to do the paper towels in the bulk like that, even though they do take up space, I know, in a little van, but I just allow it in my design of how I'm putting things. And also you're going to see in my next video how I actually do my cleanup, because I do rip little pieces and I have to remember, get all the gunk out, and you got to throw that away, and you're wiping out the next little, you know, residue stuff, and then throw it away. And then I use a vinegar. So you will see in my next video coming up, I hope to release it Friday, of how I do my cleanup. And then I'm bringing my water system back to par, because I winterized my van. I'll talk about how I winterized it, because I did a little bit differently than some people do it, and it worked out well. So I can't wait to share that video with you. Okay, so anyways, it is not going to work in my world, in the stretch of boondocking that I do, the type of cleanup, the way I conserve my water and stuff like that. I don't use soap and water. You'll see I use vinegar method and hot water. So again, stay tuned for the next video. So it really doesn't work for me to use those little towel coins. Okay, so I wanted to clear that up, because those were some pretty good, you know, questions that people were kind of wondering about me and the way I travel and boondock and stuff like that, and really good questions. And also, you can't always compare one person, the way they travel or boondock, versus another person, because there are some people that travel and might even boondock, but they make sure that they're never away from stores, or they're always within a close proximity of a major town, and that's not me. Or they might boondock for maybe a week and then make sure they get into a big town, and that's not me either. So again, it could be a month between really major big towns for me before I could not see the next, you know, major town or big store for about another month, a month and a half from that point. Okay, so, but really good. I was really excited to see the feedback and the questions, and people, you know, thinking of my boondocking. But I always just ask questions though, because we always have to, you know, think that not everybody who travels in boondocks or camp is going to do it in the same way, you know, or they have different needs. You know, that's another thing to consider as well. Okay, so anyway, so I hope I cleared some things up as I continue to show you more of my, you know, plan that I'm doing with the van and organizing. And so yeah, I hope that clears up some questions, but definitely feel free to ask questions, and maybe I could even put it out in additional videos as well. All right, so I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. And then here's Milo, a clip of Milo at the end here. Enjoying a nice cool day, but not cold. It's just cooler, not hot. It's actually perfect. It's cloudy, but still perfect weather. Yeah, so I'm comfy sitting here, just checking things out.